Right, shalom, shalom, shalom. We're about to do another quick, maybe a recap. Not so much of a recap, but we're gonna add on to what we did last time between the difference between what we believe, which is the truth, and Christianity. So today I want to talk about a topic: do God want all nations together? You know, because right now in America, everybody's together. You know, they call the illegal immigrants. That's here. They talk about, you know, us coming here as slaves, and you know, people that were already here already. Do God want us all gathered together like that?
Right.
You know, we're gonna go through the scriptures and see if that's in fact true. So, you know, I'm Brother Ronald, and this is.
How you doing, Brother Carlos?
All right. So we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna try to make it nice and quick because I know the last discussion we had was almost 2 hours. So I'm gonna try to keep this one very short. I know our people attention mindset is very, very short.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump right in and give me let's start off with Leviticus chapter 20. And we're gonna start at verse 24.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, "But I have said unto you,
Mm-hmm. The you is the Israelites. Go ahead.
ye shall inherit their land,
Uh-huh.
and will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey.
That floor with milk and honey. Go ahead.
I am the Lord your God,
Mm-hmm. The Lord, the Israelites, God. Uh-huh.
which have separated you from other people."
What did he do?
Separated you from other people.
So God separated the Israelites from other people, right? Keep going.
25. Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean beasts.
So for the Israelites and him separating them from others, he started giving them laws and how they supposed to live. So he said, you got to put a difference between clean beasts and unclean beasts. Go ahead.
And between unclean fowl and clean.
Uh-huh. So unclean fowls and clean fowl is a bird. Go ahead.
And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast,
Uh-huh.
or by fowl,
Mm-hmm.
or by any manner of living thing
Go ahead.
that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean.
He separated us from those animals. Now finish to 26.
And ye shall be holy.
He said
unto me.
holy means set apart. Go ahead.
For I the Lord am holy,
Uh-huh.
and have severed you
That word severed means cut. He said, I have severed you or cut you.
from other people,
Go ahead.
and ye should be mine.
That ye shall be his. So God doesn't want the Israelites with other people. It was always designed for us. And this is in the Old Testament. This is God's choice of his chosen people, right? Give me he didn't just do it with us. He also did it with food. It is crazy how the Lord don't even want food and cattle and stuff together, right? Watch this. Give me Leviticus, start at 19, verse 19. Watch this.
Leviticus 19 and 19.
Go ahead.
And it reads, "Ye shall keep my statutes.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender, not sow thy field with mingled seed.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come unto thee."
Ain't that
Upon thee.
crazy? So he literally, even your clothing is certain mixed fabrics, which is specifically, he said, wool and linen.
Right.
You know, I know people will be on the polyester thing, but he said wool and linen. But it was talking about even the animals and the fields and the vegetation he don't want together, right? Oh, go ahead.
I'll bring out a precept, brother, if you don't mind. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 13, verse 14.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Love the Lord all thy life,
Mm-hmm.
and call upon him for thy salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 15. Every beast love his like,
Uh-huh.
and every man love his neighbor.
That's correct.
All flesh consort according to kind,
Mm-hmm.
and a man will cleave to his like.
His life. Keep going to 19.
No problem, brother. What fellowship have the wolf with the lamb?
Mm-hmm.
So the sinner with the godly.
Mm-hmm.
What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog?
There's no way they can't mingle like a hyena gonna eat a dog. Go ahead.
And what peace between the rich and the poor?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 19. As the wild ass is the lion's prey
Mm-hmm.
in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
So it's just showing you that God is a separatist, even in the fact of status. You know, so there's no such thing of everybody coming together. So even in status, God wants it separate. You know, he's a separatist, right? So we're gonna move on, and you know I'm trying to keep this nice and quick. Let's go to the classic. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. Let's start at 1, because he's gonna give you. Not only is he gonna tell you that how he's a separatist, he's gonna give you the reasons why. All right. Start at verse 1.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it,
Go ahead.
and hath cast out many nations before thee,
Mm-hmm. Cast them out. Go ahead.
the Hittites,
Mm-hmm.
the Gergesites, and the Amorites,
Mhm.
and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites,
Mm-hmm.
and the Hivites,
Go
and the
ahead.
Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
All of these are other nations, so it's not just talking about specific people. He's talking about whole nations. And if you go to Sirach, it gives you more nations than this, right? Keep going.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt smite them,
Kill them. Go ahead.
and utterly destroy them.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them,
Don't make no covenant with the other nations.
nor so show mercy unto them.
Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Now this is what I want. He don't want you making marriages with them. Go ahead.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son,
Go ahead.
nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Go ahead.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
So that's the key. He's giving you the reason why. He said, for they will turn away thy son from following me. When you sit back and you think about it, it's like, how could you be, say if you with another nation, and during, say like the George Floyd incident, where there was so much trouble in America between whites and blacks, and you married to a white woman, or a black man married to a white woman, or a white woman married to a black man. It was probably confusion in that house. Even when Donald Trump was being re-elected the first time, you know, it was tension between the two nations, right? God's telling you the reason why. You know, one of us gonna have to fold. So you're gonna have to go against your moral standards, you know, if you married to another nation, right? Go ahead, finish up. Read to verse 6.
Verse, I'm gonna start with 4.
Go ahead.
4. For they will turn away thy son from following me,
Mm-hmm.
that they may serve other gods.
Go ahead.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you,
Mm-hmm.
and destroy thee suddenly.
Go ahead.
But thus shall ye deal with them.
This is how you deal with them.
Ye shall destroy their altars,
Go ahead.
and break down their images,
Mm-hmm.
and cut down their
Go
groves,
ahead.
and burn their graven images with fire.
So it's just pretty much telling you we shouldn't serve their gods.
Right.
Go
That's
ahead.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. For thou art a holy people
The Israelites are a holy, set-apart people. Go
unto
ahead.
the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee
Out of all the nations he chose us.
to be a special people unto himself,
Mm-hmm.
above all people that upon the face of the earth.
I know a lot of people don't like that. You know, they think that everybody's equal, everybody should love everybody, but
Right.
this is what the Lord said. The Lord said you're above other people. You know, so I'm just going, you know, I'm just saying what the Bible says. You know, so the Israelites, if you're Israelite, you're above the other nations. It's just simple, right? So being simple, he don't want us together, right? Jump down to, give me Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8. Just stick on that line, on that lap, longitude. You know.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and 8.
Go ahead.
When the Most High divided the nations,
What he did?
divided the nations,
Uh-huh.
their inheritance.
Go ahead. So he divided the nations, meaning he gave them their portions of land. Go ahead.
When he separated the sons of Adam,
Because all of us came from Adam through Noah, so he said he separated the sons of Adam. Go
he
ahead.
set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of
It
Israel.
was based on Israel's portion, based on the fact that what the land that Israel needed. Go ahead.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
Go ahead.
Jacob is his lot of his inheritance.
I never read this in the Christian church. Until I came into the truth, I never even knew this existed. So people really need to go back and start reading their Bibles. Remember, he doesn't change. So this never changed. Put this here because this is the same, right? So let's go. Give me Sirach chapter 33. Sirach is in your Apocrypha. I know most people in the Christian church, I never even knew that existed. But these are the books that was taken out, I think, in the 1800s?
That's correct.
That was taken out in the 1800s by the Protestant church.
That's correct.
And there's certain things in there that they really don't want you to know about. But it all lines up with the rest of the Bible, right? So start at verse 30, start at verse number 10, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 10.
Go ahead.
And all men are from the ground,
Go ahead.
and Adam was created of earth.
Mm-hmm.
In much knowledge, the Lord had divided them.
He did what?
Divided them.
He said in much knowledge, in God's wisdom, he divided the men. Go ahead.
And made their ways diverse.
Made them different. We're not the same as all the other nations, right? Go ahead.
Some of them had he blessed
Mm-hmm.
and exalted.
That's the Israelites. Go ahead.
And some of them had he sanctified
Mm-hmm.
and set near himself.
That's us. Go ahead.
But some of them had he cursed and brought low.
When you read the Bible, you'll find out the cursed people are the people that lack melanin. Sun is killing them. Go ahead.
And turned out of their places.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
As the city is in the potter's hand
Mm-hmm.
to fashion it. I'm sorry.
Clay.
So as the clay is in the potter's hand
Uh-huh.
to fashion it at his pleasure, so is man in the hand of him that made him.
That goes to that same question in Romans chapter 9. Is there unrighteousness with God? No. He made you the way he made you. And that's just that. It's just that simple, right? That's all I want on that.
Okay.
I don't want to go too deep in that. Give me 33. That was 33 verse 10?
33, 10, yeah.
All right. Give me I want to go back to the original person that tried to bring all nations together, right? So the first thing I want to, before I go there, go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. I'm gonna bring this out real quick. Shows what happened to us and why we have these different ideologies right now. Why we want to mingle with the other nations, right? Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Go ahead.
It reads, But it shall come to pass,
Mm-hmm.
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
We didn't listen. Go ahead.
to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
Go ahead.
that all these curses
All these curses.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Give me verse 64. Here's the curse that came upon us.
Verse 64.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
Mm-hmm.
from one end of the earth even unto the other.
So we're scattered amongst the other nations because of our disobedience. It's a curse to be scattered amongst these people, amongst the other people. That's what the Bible says. So part of the curse is you're going to be scattered amongst the people. Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And guess what? As we're scattered amongst them, we're serving their gods. Go ahead.
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Our fathers didn't know no white man Jesus. We always knew a God that looked just like us. Go ahead.
Even wood and stone.
Wood deals with Christianity, stone deals with Islam. We never did those things when we were separated. That goes back to Deuteronomy 7. This is the reason why God wanted us separated, right? Give me, so now I want to go into the first person that go ahead and try to bring us together. Give me Genesis chapter 10. And our first, the first guy that tried to get us, everybody to come together. And it shows you, and in this illustration is going to go into what God did to separate that particular thing. What God did, if that was right or was that wrong. You know, the first person was Nimrod. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Nimrod, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna make this short. Give me Genesis chapter 10, start at verse 8 to 10.
Book of Genesis chapter 10 verse 8,
Mm-hmm.
and it reads, "And Cush begot Nimrod.
Cush is of the Hamites. Go ahead, of Ham.
He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Go ahead, start ruling. Go ahead.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
Go ahead. He was wicked.
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel,
Babel, the Babylon. Go ahead.
and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar.
In the land of Shinar, that's all Babylon. Jump to chapter 11, start at verse 1
11 and 1.
To 7. You're reading 7.
Book of Genesis 11 and 1. It reads, "And the whole earth was of one language,
Go ahead. Everybody spoke the same thing. Go ahead, which was Hebrew. Go ahead.
and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar,
Go ahead.
and they dwelt there."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3, "And they said one to another, to go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
And they had brick and stone
For stone.
and slime had they for mortar.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto the heaven.
Go ahead.
And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth."
See, so this particular guy was trying to get us together, which was Nimrod, get us so we don't be scattered. He wanted everybody together, right? Go ahead.
Verse 5, "And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded."
So the Lord's like, okay, well, I see y'all all gathered together. Let's see how he's gonna deal with this, right? Go ahead.
And the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them,
Go ahead.
which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech."
Go ahead.
So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth,
Go ahead.
and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel,
Go ahead.
because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
So the Lord went down and scattered them. So is the Lord righteous or are they righteous? The Lord scattered them. He didn't want them together, right? Jump down. Give me First Maccabees. Let me show you after Nimrod. Let's see who was next. Who next tried to do the same thing? All right. Let's see about it. It's the Greeks, and this is out of the Apocrypha. This is why our different captivities we was never taught about. You never learned about Egyptian. You learned about the Egyptian captivity, the Babylonian captivity, the Persian Mede captivity. But then all of a sudden you get into the New Testament, all you hear about is the Roman captivity. Well, the Apocrypha brings up the Greek captivity. And watch what the Greeks did. So we're going to give me First Maccabees chapter 1. I think I'm on 41.
41, gotcha.
Yeah, give me that right quick. We're going to read the 50s.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom
Go ahead.
that all should be one people.
That's what they're trying to push now. Right now they're even going into a more globalist type of idea where they're trying to mesh all of the religions together, Islam, I think Christianity and Judaism. So this is similar to what King Antiochus. You're gonna take away all those. You're gonna serve one thing. That's just what they wanted, right? Go ahead.
And everyone should leave his laws.
Leave the laws. Go ahead.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Go ahead.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
That's a religion. When you're leaving off from your moral standards, you're going into somebody else's religion. You know, because you were brought up a specific way, they're trying to push their ideology on you. Go ahead.
And sacrifice unto idols.
That's what they were doing.
And profane the Sabbath.
We didn't keep the Sabbath. Go ahead.
For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Go ahead.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple. And that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days.
So it's showing you then that he was sending laws out that we shouldn't keep the Sabbath and we shouldn't keep our high holy days, which we don't keep now. None of our people keep our, we take on Christmas, we take on Halloween, we take on Thanksgiving. None of these are our feast days. That's one thing you need to ask your pastor. Why don't we celebrate none of these high holy days that God gave us, but we celebrate all the holidays that the heathen gave us? You know, we're gonna do a class on that as well, right? Go ahead.
It says in 46, and pollute the sanctuary
Pollute our church
and holy people.
Uh-huh.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh.
What they were sacrificing?
Swine's flesh.
That's things that we don't supposed to eat. We don't supposed to eat swine or pork or pig or whatever. Go ahead.
And unclean beasts.
Uh-huh.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Go ahead.
And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Go ahead.
To the end they might forget the law.
That they might forget the law. And that's what happened. We forgot the law. That's why one of the laws said, remember the Sabbath day, because we forgot it. Go ahead.
And change all ordinances. And whosoever.
Now check this out. This is how pushy these Greeks was. He said, and whosoever would not according to the commandment, go ahead, of the king,
he said he should die.
They would kill us for it. So they was forcing us to actually serve their gods. They was forcing us to give up our laws, our statutes, our commandments. So this is the thing that'll happen when we all come together. We have to all, just imagine, go to school, I had to stand up. I remember getting suspended for not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I had to pledge allegiance to a damn flag. You know, that's idolatry.
That's right.
You know, never was taught that, but that's biblical. And you do it so freely now.
Right.
You know? So all those things were things that the Greeks pushed on us. Give me chapter 2, verse 6. Second Maccabees, chapter 6, my bad. Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Just want to nail it home. You know, I know I'm trying to go fast, but I'm trying to make it nice and short so y'all can digest it. Go ahead.
Second Maccabees,
chapter 6,
verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath.
It was unlawful during that time to keep the Lord's Sabbath day, right? Go ahead.
Or ancient feasts.
Or any of our feast days.
Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Very similar now. It's happening again these days. We're saying that we're the Israelites, and it's about to be unlawful in a little bit for us to say that. Because they have an issue with the fact that we're waking up, that we know what we're the true Jews. Go ahead.
And the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint.
Go ahead.
To eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was
now
kept.
Check that out. That word Bacchus. You know how from New Orleans, so you go to Endymion, Bacchus, which is all Greek gods. He said we had to go and make sacrifices to Bacchus. Well, that's what you're doing when you go into Mardi Gras. When you wave your hands in the air, you're like praising Bacchus. You don't realize they do it so subtly. Well, now they're bringing you into idolatry, right? But it's a whole nother thing. Keep reading. Let's run through this.
So the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivory.
Worshiping Bacchus. Go ahead.
Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
So we had to do the same thing that they were doing. So the Jews couldn't do it. They were commanded by God to do. They had to do what everybody else did. Go ahead.
And whoso would not conform themselves,
and if you didn't conform to these ways,
to the manner of the Gentiles,
go ahead,
should be put to death.
What you gonna be?
Put to death.
Go ahead.
That then might a man have been the presence,
have seen
the presence misery.
So it was a misery thing to us. So we had to actually conform to this. But I know I went through a whole lot of scriptures of people being put together. I tried to go from the beginning to show our people that what God says about it. I'm going to cut this off short and just go into the New Testament. So that way you can't just say, well, that's the Old Testament. We don't live by that no more. This is the New Testament. Let's see what Christ says out of his own mouth about us coming together. What he's going to do when he comes back with his holy angels. Does he want us all together or not? What is he going to do? Give me Matthew chapter 25, we're reading 32 to 34. This is my last precept. So don't argue with me, argue with God. But this is what the Lord said. So I'm going to end it with that one precept. Give me Matthew chapter 31.
I got you.
Matthew 25, verse 31.
This book of Matthew 25, verse 31. It reads, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory,
go ahead,
and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
Now this is the second coming of Christ. This hasn't happened yet. So when he comes back with his holy angels, that's the angels of heaven coming back to bring judgment to this earth. Go ahead.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
All what?
All nations.
All what?
All nations.
All nations are going to be gathered before him. Now watch what he do. Go ahead.
And he shall separate them one from another. As he
whoa. Read over that kind of fast.
And he shall separate them one from another.
Wow. So he going to be Christ coming back with his holy angels, and he going to separate the nations one from another. Go ahead.
As a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats.
The sheep is God's chosen people. The goats are all other nations. Go ahead.
And he shall set the sheep on his right hand. But the goats on the left.
So you know what that means. He's going to tell you. Go ahead.
Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my Father.
Go ahead.
Inherit the kingdom prepared for you.
Go ahead.
From the foundation of the world.
It was already preordained from the foundation of the world. The kingdom is for the children of Israel. It was always that way, right? Keep going.
For I was in hunger, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink.
That's all I want. I don't want to go no more further, man. I just wanted to show that it was separate. It's an all deep parable when you get down into it. So I'm going to leave it like that. It's nice, quick, and short. You know, I want to say this, Brother Ronald, again. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
All right, Brother Carlos, man. Shalom, brother.
Most High in Christ bless.